Hey you, let's shift our reality. It's me, Lonnie, from ilovelonnie.com or Talk Lonnie the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And welcome back. So if you have not watched the previous video about the 50-30-20 rule, go back and watch that. And this video will make a little bit more sense because it's more detailed in the first video. If you did watch that video, welcome. This is where we're going to go over the Excel spreadsheet that I mentioned in the first video. Now, as a disclaimer, this is just a test, just a quick little example of something that you could use, so you can definitely customize all of this information to fit your personal life situation. Okay, now the title, as I mentioned, it is just an example, so you can always put whatever title you want to name your spreadsheet. All of the labels of all the categories and everything is just customizable, but I'm going to give you something to start with. So if you watched the first video, that means you already wrote down your expenses or came up with your expenses and you're just ready to put it into a spreadsheet. And no matter if it's a need or a want, what we're going to do is put all of our expenses in column A. I'll explain what the A's and the C's mean a little bit later in the video. But for the sake of the video, we're going to start off with just putting all of your bills that you pay, whether it's a need or a want, in column A. Column B is going to be the total of all of those expenses. So if your rent is $500, if your car payment is $200, insurance is $50, and so forth. Now, like I said, this is not my exact information or anybody's exact information. It's just an example, so you can customize it to be whatever your information is. This is just for the sake of easy math. So you're going to put all the amounts in, and then column C is going to be your income source. It's your net monthly income. Your net is going to be whatever your income is monthly after they remove taxes and deductions. Whatever you are left with is what number will go into this box. Okay, and I have $1,000 just for the sake of the video. Now, your disposable income is going to be your net income, which is the $1,000, minus however much your expenses are coming out, which is the $870, and what you're left with is your disposable income, which is the $130. The very next column is going to be per paycheck, how much you need to put towards your bills. This is going to align with a different video that is also available, to where if you want to learn how to pay your bills monthly or a month in advance, this is going to be the number that helps you to do that. So this is a total of all of your bills, which is the $870, divided by however many times you get paid. And for the sake of the video, we did 2 times. So that means it would be bi-weekly. And that would mean $435 will come out twice a month for you to equal the $870. Now, if you did that weekly, we're going to also show a little quick example there as well. Now, I'm going to click on each cell or each box so that you'll be able to see the formulas that I use to come up with these numbers. The formulas are very helpful because it allows the spreadsheet to basically do the math for you, which is crazy helpful. So the total of all of our bills that we just tracked in our spreadsheet is going to equal $870. If you look in the bottom left hand corner right here where it says formula, that is the formula that was used to come up with the $870. So that is a sum. If you see that it's highlighted all the numbers in this column, that's going to be a sum of everything in this column. So no matter what I put in this column, it's going to calculate and update. So if I change that to 25, you see it goes to 875 instead of the 870 that it was at before. If I change it back to the 20, it goes back down to the 870. So that formula is going to allow it to update as you make changes. So that is how you get your total. You just put the formula in for the sum. Now you can also Google formulas as well, and Excel also has little tools, helpful tools that help you come up with the formulas as well. In the next category, where your income is, this is, don't forget, your net income, which is going to be your income after taxes and deductions were removed. Okay, so for the sake of the video, like I said, I put $1,000 just for easy math. And if you look, there is no formula, but it'll make sense in a moment. So as I change that, all the other numbers change as well. I don't know if you saw the disposable number went from 130 to 1130, and it will change it back. So that is also playing a factor in the formula. In the next column, where it says the disposable income, which is the amount that you are left with after you pay all of your bills out of the $1,000, so $130 right here. If you click on it, in the bottom left hand corner is the formula. So what we did is we took the income source right here, and then we subtract the budget total, which is right here, and then that's going to give us that. So no matter what we changed it to, so even if, say, my phone bill, we'll say insurance, no, we'll say car payment, say my car payment went down to $100, if you look right here, it does automatically change the number to your bill down to $770, and it changes your disposable income up to $230 as well. Okay, now we're going to change it back. Oh, and over here it does change that number as well. I don't know if you remember, it had, I think 485. We'll go back to it though. So we'll change it back to 435. So we'll change it back to the 200. Now, if you got a raise, let's say you got a $5,000 raise or $4,000 raise, you notice that it changes the disposable income as well. Now, this amount, which is your bill part, that's not going to change because your bill is going to stay the same. Or if they do change, that's when the bill will change. The bill part will change if your bills change. Okay, so with $1,000 and then $130 left, and then $435 coming out of each paycheck, which is 2 paychecks a month bi-weekly. And if you click on it, in the bottom left hand corner, it has the budget total, which is going to be your bill in the budget line right here, the budget. And then the total of the budget is $870. So $870 divided by 2, which is bi-weekly. If you get paid weekly, we are going to change that to a 4. So we're going to do 4 paychecks. That means if we take $217.50 out of 4 paychecks, which is weekly, that will equal the $870 that you need for your bills. Now, like I said, you have to watch the other video on how to pay your bills monthly or in advance, and this part would make more sense. But if you just want to use it as a gauge, that'll let you know how much out of each paycheck will equal what you need to be able to come up with to pay your bills in a full month. Now, if you look on this last line, it's the percentage. So in the bottom left hand corner will be the formula that I used. So that means your bills is 87% of the income. So 870 is 87% of 1,000. And if you look in the bottom left hand corner, just by taking the amount of bills that you have divided by your income is how you come up with the percentage of how much your bills are, the percentage that your bills is using of your income. Now, your disposable income is 13% of your income. That means you are left with 13% after all your bills are paid. If you look in the bottom left hand corner, it has your disposable income divided, your disposable income 130 divided by 1,000 is going to give you whatever percentage that you're left with, which is the 13%. Now, that's also using the formula as well. So the A and the C means, if you look at the other video, a different video, we also touched on opening a separate account for your bills specifically apart from your personal account. So if you have any type of auto pay set up, the A would represent that it's coming out of your checking account using your routing and checking number. If you have a C beside it, that is to represent that it is on an auto pay through a card, which is still should be coming out of your bill bank account, but the card that is attached to that account. So that means that this company has your card information, and then the A's mean that those companies have your routing and account number information, and then the nothing beside it means that you are responsible for paying that bill on your own. That's just an example of a little organization if you care to use that strategy. Now going on down to the 50-30-20 rule, watch the previous video to get a little bit more information on the 50-30-20 rule and how to free up some extra money for yourself. 50% of your income should be going towards your needs. 30% of your income should be going towards your wants. 20% of your income should be going towards savings as a recommended budget strategy. Now, all of the bills that we just had in the first part of the spreadsheet, what we did is we separated those into our needs and wants down here. So every single one of these bills is going to fall down here. It's just going to fall into its own separate category, but the bill itself is not going to change unless you remove it, to save yourself some money or something like that. Now we have our rent, car payment, insurance, everything that we have to have that, something we can't really get out of paying for real. And then we got the wants, which are things that we might think we need, but we really don't. And let me change that back to a 5. Now, because I don't know if you noticed that number was off. Okay, so these are all of the totals. If you look right here, this is the total of all of your needs, which in the bottom left hand corner is the formula, which is going to calculate all the numbers that is above it. If you look in the wants category, it is also doing the same thing. So it is calculating the total of all the numbers that's above it. Both of these totals should always equal your total income. That total income should always match the total that is in that above spreadsheet, which is the 870. If something is off, you have to go back and see what's missing out of each category. So the 870 is the total that does match, and then your disposable also matches. So those should be the same. Now, if you look in, we already did those formulas. If you look in this formula for the total, it's going to be the total of your needs and the total of your wants. So we have B9 plus D9 equals your total. So if you look in the bottom left hand corner, that is what formula you'll see. In the disposable, which is basically what's left over after you paid everything, so B9 plus the D9, and then take that amount out of your income after taxes, which, what did we say that was? The $1,000. So that means $1,000, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, minus B9 and D9 is what's going to give you your disposable income, which is the 130, which also matches the 130 from the previous spreadsheet. Those should stay the same. Now, the savings should be 20% of your income. 20% of the income we're using is going to be $200. 20% of 1,000 is 200. So that is going to be your goal. Okay, your actual is what you're actually saving. That number is right here. And whatever number you change it to will be what your percent changes to. So down here is the percentage. We know the 50-30-20% rule is that your needs should be at 50%, your wants should be at 30%, and your savings, you should be saving 20%. Me, I'm extra, so my stuff is set up to turn colors when I'm above or below that goal. So if it is above the 50%, it's going to be red. As you see, it is red right here at 86%. So that means you're a little bit over the 50% right here. Okay. And if you look over in the wants, that means that it's green. So it is under the 30%. And then the same with the savings, it is under the 20%. So it is red. Now, this is showing you the percentage, so it can kind of get you in a habit of being able to see where you are. So if you're at 86%, but we should be at 50, so that either means, hey, I might need to cut down on some bills, or I might need to increase my income to kind of balance that number out, because what that basically just means is most of your income is just going towards bills, which is cool, but if you want to be comfortable, it should be like a balance, which if you slide over to the wants, how it is at 2%, it does kind of even itself out because you're drastically under the 30%, even though you're over in the needs category, but they balance each other out. So you're not too much over where you should be when you add them together or when you average them together. Now the savings, that is going to change, or it can change based on whatever you have. So let's say, for example, you have $130, but you want to save 100 of it this month. So that'll let you know that you're saving 10% at that time. 10% is going towards saving. If you decide you want to save, let's say you got some other stuff going on this month and you want to just save $20, then that means you save 2%. Now, like I mentioned in a previous video, even though they say that you should be saving 20% of your income, a saying that I always loved is cornbread is better than no bread. So anything that you save, for me, in my opinion, always helps and makes a difference. So even if you can save $5, $20, as long as you're saving something towards your own self, I think that it's a win-win regardless. Now, this is kind of just a quick little gist of a spreadsheet that you can use. We're going to go into a more detailed one a little bit later, but this was just kind of giving you an idea of how to use a spreadsheet to budget your bills. It's very organized, it's very easy. You don't have to do the math. You can depend on the computer to basically do it for you. You can check in on your bills. You know where all your money is going, and when you know where everything is going, it makes it easier for you to make changes and adjust a little bit better, more in advance, in my opinion anyway. But I hope you got something out of this. Go check out the other videos, the 50-30-20 rule video, how to pay your bills in a month and in advance, or how to pay your bills without overdrawing your account. And good luck to you, good luck to your bank account, and I'll see you in the next video.